Hey, welcome back to the JMFG podcast. I want to tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I hope everybody had a great, safe holidays. And we're back in the studio starting out 2024. I'm pretty excited. And my next guest that's coming on, real good friend of mine, kind of mentored him a little bit. I don't know if I mentored him good or bad, but I tried to mentor him. Then he told me later, like, no, dude, you ain't a mentor. You took my life all up. But anyways, with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let my next guest go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Aaron Blockmon. Born and raised here in Sanford, North Carolina. I actually met Johnny's brother, Jeff, first playing out here basketball.
That's right.
He was out deployed running the world. I ain't met you for a couple years, man, until I was in high school when you finally came back. I guess you kind of like retired, came back stateside.
Yep. What grade were you in when I first met you? 10th or 11th grade, weren't you?
Maybe like 10th, 11th grade. Yeah, okay. High school. Like you said, you mentored me. Actually helped me get my first car at the auction. We used to go auction hunting.
So that was it. Hold on. So if anybody don't know, that was a DUI auction.
Yeah.
No, it's in Fayetteville, but it's in Linden, I think. Is it Linden? Mm-hmm. Right off of Ramsey Street. And Aaron was he was eager to get him a car. I was like, hey, man, we'll get you one, man. We'll get you one. So he went to that auction. He bought that. It was
a Honda. I had $900 to my name.
And he bid it $900 and the guy bid it $1,000. I thought he was going to fight because Aaron's like, no, I got the car, I bid it. And we ended up paying, I think, $1,000 for it, right? Yeah, so you got him a little Honda, he's all happy.
Oh, yeah, first car, man. Drove it straight back, no license, no nothing, no insurance. We drove it straight back.
That's a good mentor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you good, just fine.
I
said, just stay close to me, you good.
Yep. They stayed behind me. It was good.
And that little car last you how long though?
Oh, yeah, it lasted me all through college. I had it. Remember I told you I sold it to the junkyard. So I got into an accident and it took my bumper off and I had to tie my hood down. And this was before I went to the fire academy to learn the ropes and stuff. So driving one day, I was finna come back to Sanford, actually come see my mom for a holiday or whatever. And then the hood flipped up, smashed my windshield, and it did that a couple times. I was like, man, I gotta get rid of the car. Then I actually got a job at the fire department, and then that's when I went and got my Lexus from state employees.
Now I will say though, bro, when you told me you had sold that car, you saw me, I was hurt. I was like, really? Why'd you sell it? Like,
I shouldn't have sold it too, man.
Right?
It was
and
a great car.
Ran good.
I drove it to the junkyard. They gave me $100 for it, and I drove it there.
Hey, what junkyard you take it to?
Some junkyard in Greenville.
Hey, look here, we're gonna find what junkyard you took that car to. Call them up. Yeah, they got you.
They driving it right now. So it was.
Somebody's driving it. Yeah, because that was a good little car. Hummer's gone forever.
Oh yeah.
So the reason why I brought Aaron on today, because Aaron said, I helped mentor him, and I said I mentored him, but Aaron actually mentored me a lot too, because I learned from Aaron, just because you come from, it doesn't matter where you come from or what you got. It depends on, where you end up and how much drive you had. And I first met Aaron, he's playing football at Southern Lee, and he's playing wide receiver. And Aaron ended up going to Campbell University on a football scholarship. So, Aaron raised by a single mom, father's in Chicago, I think, but not really a part of your life, right?
Right.
So how was that growing up? Did that?
It was fine. My aunts and uncles, they stepped in and played a part. Definitely my uncle. My mom's sister's husband definitely played a role too. He stepped up and played a father figure. We were talking about that over Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it was fine. My mom made it happen, right. And, she made it happen. Anything we needed, she made it happen, And then getting older and realizing, looking back and seeing how much my mom sacrificed for me, it all brings it into perspective of like what she really did for me. So very appreciative of that. Shout out to you, Mom. I'm about to go see you after this. But yeah. Life wasn't bad, man. Me and my older brother, he's actually studying right now to be a chemist, getting his PhD in chemistry at the University of Tennessee.
Man, Avery been in school. Avery been in school like 30 years. Avery just loves school. Man.
Yeah, man. He's a smart kid,
He's
man.
wicked smart.
Smart kid. But yeah, so, growing up, my brother's 3 years older than me. Senior year, going into senior year, starting to apply for college, stuff like that. And then I remember him having the conversation with my mom, like how are we gonna pay for this?
Right.
They're faith believers, so they're praying about it and stuff. But I'm also a realistic person too. At the same time, college is expensive, man. You're talking about $40,000-$50,000 a year. To ask somebody from a single parent at that. that's a lot on somebody. So I watched my brother kind of struggle. I think he started at the community college. He went to Lee Early College, so he had some college credits going in. But, you know, I see him struggle for a year or two before he actually went to college, you know, was able to get the money together to go. And then I'm coming up, like I said, I'm 3 years younger than him. I'm like, all right, how am I going to get to college? You know, like, I was like, I can't be stressing, you know, doing this. So like I said, my family's from believers. We believe that, you know, the Saturday is a day of rest, and a day is from sunup to sundown. So on Friday at sundown, you know, it's technically the Sabbath. You know, don't need to do anything. You need to be resting, getting ready for church, whatever. So my mom wouldn't let me play football. You know, Friday Night Lights. You know, that's the thing here in North Carolina, many states. You know, Friday Night Lights football. Also, I played basketball, track, baseball, played all of that. Like I said, I realized my brother was struggling how to get to college, and then my football coach, Tom Paris, greatest guy ever. Still talk to him to this day. Not recently, I just talked to him.
Shout out Coach Tom Paris.
Yeah, man, shout out to you. He sat me down. He was like, look, man, you got to play football. Like, you can go to college for free if you play football. And so he told me that. I'm like,
let's do it.
Like, right, let's go. Like, you ain't got to tell me. I want to play. So I was like, you got to convince my mom to let me play. So they said I had like a little meeting with my mom, the basketball coach, Coach Paris, baseball coach, track. Everybody just kind of had like a little powwow with her. And I wasn't in the meeting myself. I wish I could have been to see what was said, but they actually convinced her. She let me said I could play, but I could only play one sport on Fridays. So, I mean, I was good at basketball. You know, I was decent at baseball, track, whatever, but I could get my college paid for if I play football. So I dedicated that. I'm kind of sad looking back on it because I wish I would have played basketball in my senior year. You know, I missed out on a lot of memories with some of my friends and them. But, you know, it is what here or there. So played football my senior year. Also my junior and senior year, my junior year I played quarterback. It was terrible.
I would say because you can't throw.
I'm not a quarterback. I would be the first to admit I'm an athlete. But I remember my junior year, we played the first game. We played Lee Senior, which is the county rival.
That's a rivalry.
I had one catch for like 40 yards. And then my coach called me, Coach Paris. He's like, look, son, the only way you're going to get the ball is you catch the snap every play. So I ended up switching to quarterback my junior year. I ran for over 1,000 yards. Like Johnny said, I couldn't really throw.
But you can run now.
But I can run, though. Like I said, I ran for 1,000 yards, made all conference as a running back while playing quarterback.
That's awesome.
Senior year comes around 2014. My boy Iman comes back to my school. He was kind of school hopping. It was a lot of politics and stuff and that. So he finally came back, which he's a true quarterback. So I went back to receiver. And then my senior year, I went for over 1,000 yards as a receiver, all-state receiver. And then you said, like, I got some interest from Campbell. Campbell was emailing me. This was before, you know, the social media, Twitter, transfer portal, all that good stuff. So, you know, it's old school. So I'm checking my Yahoo email. I'm like, oh, this Campbell University. Like, where is this? You know, from San Francisco.
And it's right up the road.
Right up the road. I'm like, where is this? And then, so, you know, I'm emailing with the coach, you know, yada, yada. And then, you know, like I said, my junior year, I had a pretty good year as quarterback, running back. So then my senior year coming in, he would come to the school and we would talk. But then, like I said, my senior year, I went pretty crazy with 1,000 yards and stuff. So, and became an all-state receiver. So I became highly sought after by like little schools, Wingate, Pembroke and stuff like that.
But either way, it's still college.
Right, college. Still college. Yeah. So like I said, this is all like, they coming to me, you know, like this is, I'm not going out here asking them. They coming to me. I'm getting the letters in the mail. It's cool to see.
Now, let me back up. What was your GPA at the time in high school?
Oh, I had a 3.0.
So, now what I would tell, first I want to send a shout out to you and back it up a little bit. For the show, because I like to, it's helping through sharing. And the reason why I wanted you to come on, one, because I think you just had an awesome life so far.
Right.
But two, we know where you came from. We know the struggles that you had with your mom, your father figure not being there. So the reason why I wanted you to come on the show, because you got kids out there right now in Sanford, little town, Georgia, where I'm from. They're sitting there wondering how am I going to go to college.
Right.
And a lot of times, I think, and this is me talking, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, I don't care what color you are, you have a tendency to do what your parents did.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Right.
And one thing I've noticed, like me, my father was never in the military, but my brother was.
Right.
My older brother. He's my cousin, but I call him my brother. He joined the military, so that was sort of like a segue for me to see, like, he came home, he had his own car, he had his own money, he lived his own life, he's traveling the world. I'm like, I want to do that.
Like that.
Because I love sports too, and I was an athlete, but I was like, man, that's what I want to do. And I talked to the recruiter. They was like, "Yo, we'll pay you to do this."
That's
like you
all
football. I was sold. That's all I wanted to do.
exactly.
Because now I know I can send home the money home to my mom and dad.
Take care of the
I don't need much. I can take care of the family. So for you, growing up in that single household, what would you say to one, not only a single mom, but also what would you say to the kids of a single mother or a single father in that single parent household? What would you say to them, being that, coming from that?
Right.
Especially during the holidays.
Oh yeah. Just be patient. You know, speaking of the holidays, like I remember one year, you know, Christmas, it's tough, man. You know, like single parent, like, you know, you go to school, whatever, you see all the other kids getting all the nice gifts. So like, oh, this how hard I got over Christmas, this. And well, you might all got was a pair of socks, you know, a pair of, you know, underwear, you know. But like I said, growing up, I might not appreciate it, but now that the fact that I'm older and realizing what my mom sacrificed for me, like a pair of socks, like I, especially as an adult now, like, I'm happy to get a pair of socks. You know, like just be appreciative. And it's the thought that matters to the gift. You know, like it might not be the name brand shoes or clothes. You know, like I never really wore that stuff growing up. Like this sweatsuit right here is from Sam's Club. Yeah. This is $10 sweatsuit. So
same here, bro.
Yeah. So,
I don't judge a man off what he wears, his character.
Exactly. Yeah. So just be patient, man. It's tough out there, but also at the same time, it is a way out. Just have to find it, and you have to work for it. You know, everything I got. You know, people look at my life and say like, oh, you know, he's blessed and stuff. But I also earned every single thing I've done.
Same here.
Exactly. So, I mean, but it's a way, and it's definitely a way.
Now, see, you better got me tearing up, man. Because for me, you know, like I say, I understand where you're coming from. Because when I grew up, I had both parents in the household.
Right.
And I tell people now, the problem I see with kids a lot of days, especially teenagers nowadays, because we got all the social media.
Right.
We don't have that, you know, in my opinion, if you got a father figure, you got a leader, a provider.
Oh, yeah.
You got that father figure. Then if you got that mother figure, you got that empathy, you got that love, you got that passion, you got that just what a woman brings to the table. Because the song with Derulo and Florida Georgia Line is called "Women." I think that's the best song in the world, man. They talk about how strong men are with women and how weak we are without them. So in a household, especially a single parent household with a mom, I think once you get that certain age, as a boy, 10, 11, 12 years old, you need that father figure in your life. Whether to smack you around or show you how to change oil, whatever. Because I remember showing you how to change oil.
Exactly.
You like, jumping on all my head, it's just oil, man. It ain't gonna hurt you.
Hey, it was hot. We ain't let the car cool down. Don't let them out.
But you was jumping, you know what I mean? But it's things like that. Now, when you have a son, you'll teach your son those things and instill those things. And just like your first car, wasn't the best car. But what I used to always tell you, check the oil, check the water. As long as you check the oil, you check the water, the car gonna run.
Exactly.
And if anything else break, we can fix it. And all you care about, just like most kids, I can give you some music, man. I can give you a radio.
some 12s. Yep, I had it all. Yes, sir.
Whereas I'm worried about the motor. You like, no, bro, I can give you some 12s. I'm like, man, that stuff don't matter, right? You know. But now, you know, as we got older, like you said, you're getting older now, you realize a pair of socks means that much. And me growing up in a household where we were poor too, man, you know, if I got something for Christmas, I was happy. But I also knew that, you know, if my family didn't get me nothing, I was just as grateful. You know, because my aunt with me, I talk about it all the time. She went to garage sales all the time, bro. So you getting stuff for Christmas. It might be a sweatsuit where the zipper don't work. You know, but, you know, a button on your pants don't work.
It's all good.
But you know you're getting something. And so now, man, I look at the kids nowadays, like my kids or my niece and my nephew, we did Christmas up here this year. And just to see, like my nephew, Santa Claus brought him a 4-wheeler. He walked in, his exact words were, I knew Santa Claus was going to bring it because I had it on the list. And I'm sitting there like, dude, he had no enthusiasm. I was more excited, like, he's going to be excited to get this because I would have been, you know, doing cheetah flips. He was just like, I knew Santa Claus was going to bring it. I had it on the list. Then he went in and picked up some little toy that cost like, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But it's like, you know, kids just nowadays, and it's different times, but they don't understand the struggle that what parents go through to make it happen for you, man. So for you to come on and say that, you know, I think that's, you know, for why Aaron just said, I ain't gonna steal his thunder or his words, for single mothers out there, single fathers, for kids that are watching this with single parents, just be appreciative and be patient, like you just said, because you never know where your mom and dad are going through. You know what I mean? You never know what your mom's going through, or your dad's going through, or your grandma, or your uncle, whoever's raising you. You never know what they're going through. And so what I would say, just like Aaron said, just be patient. You mean be patient? You know, pray. You know, if you do pray, if you don't, then, you know, that's fine too. But whatever you believe in, whatever your higher belief is, just stick to it, you know? And now let's fast forward, Aaron. I kind of got on the soapbox.
No, it's all good.
So let's fast forward. Now, you go to camp as a visit?
Yeah.
So is that the only school you went to?
Yes. So it was my first visit.
Okay. First and only.
First visit. So it was like, if you come on this first visit, that means you're like a top prospect on the board, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling myself. I'm like,
top prospect.
Like I said, I'm just coming off a 1,000-yard season, all-state team. I'm like, okay, what I'm saying, I can definitely go to college and play football,
right? For
sure. So like I said, the other schools would hit me up, Pembroke, Wingate, but I had said all those, no knock to those. They're not D1 schools,
right?
My goal was, I wanted to go D1. That was the little fad, back in high school. I'm sure it's still kind of the fad now. D1, people want to D1 sports. But also, I wanted to go play D1 where I know I could play too. I didn't want to
sit on the bench.
Right, exactly. So I'm sure I could have went to UNC or Duke and walked on somewhere. But then, who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
So
and are you going to play?
Exactly. So, like I said, go to Campbell. It's the first weekend around this time of January. Actually, is where people start taking their visits and stuff. They treat me out. I take my mom, my Uncle Carl. Like I said, he was like my father figure. So anything in football.
Shout out to Uncle Carl.
Yeah, every game he was there. So we take him, my mom. We staying in the hotel. They're taking us out to dinner during the weekend. And the last night, you have a meeting with the head coach, who happened to be Coach Mentor at the time. He's a former Carolina Panther.
Yep.
And my Uncle Carl, who's a big fan, he was kind of like starstruck because he was a hardcore football fan. He loved the Panthers too, so he kind of knew like the history of Mike Mentor and stuff. So he was a little bit more excited than I was. He's just another guy.
He's just a dude.
Right, he's just a guy. So Coach Mentor, real cool dude, man. Shout out to Coach Mentor. He actually just resigned from Campbell University. He had an 11-year span there.
All right, Coach Mentor, we got to get you on the show. Don't tell nobody what you're doing. Keep on the download.
But we had a meeting with him. They're like, he lay out the paperwork and all this. He was like, we want to offer you a full ride. So to me, I'm like,
what do I sign?
Right, like, what I need to sign this right now? Like, what I need to do right with a pen. So, you break down the packages, you're going to pay for school, you're going to pay for your housing, you don't have to worry about anything. So, I'm looking at my mom, she crying.
Is she crying?
Looking at my uncle, he's smiling, it's just I will never forget that moment. It's a great moment. And, Campbell facilities were nice, top of the line. They didn't spare any expenses. So, and it's also a very good academic school as well. Especially, like I said, now getting older, I'm realizing how much really my degree is worth from Campbell.
Right.
So, I was like, all right, I'm coming here at the end of the visit. I pretty much gave him a verbal commitment. Right. And then, I guess like word gets out. I'm not sure how this works, but I started getting calls from like the other coaches like, then so Campbell was like, we don't want you to take no other visits.
Right.
So I'm like, that's cool with me because like I said, I had like Winbrook,
and you want to go to D1 anyway?
Yeah, I want to go to D1 anyway. So I was like, that's okay. I've been to some of those schools before and seen them. I was like, it's not nearly as good as Campbell was as far as like facility wise.
I got you.
Also like the level of everything. So I'm like, man, it shouldn't be that hard. But man, dude, when I tell you these coaches calling my phone, beep, you need to come down here. Right, yeah, like why would you da. And like I actually had to tell my coach, I was like, look man, you need to talk to this guy. Like he's talking crazy. I'm a little kid, right? Yeah. I'm 18, 17, 18. I'm like, why are you talking to me like this? Like, it's a free world. I can go where I want to go. So, but that's...
But see, having said that, though, right. Also what that did was, that showed those other coaches
the true talent.
The true talent. Like, man, we should have jumped earlier.
Right.
But now we see. Just like, like a Jordan's high school coach cut him.
Exactly.
But then you realize, like, man, that's a talent. And then for Mint to jump on you like that.
Right.
Like, hey, we going to offer you a full ride.
Right.
Those other coaches start here, man. Yep. It's like that everywhere in the business world, too, man.
Yeah. So, took the full ride, man. Like I said, graduated high school in 2014. Went up there that summer. It's very different, and it is adjustment. Coming from high school, you the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no question about it. I'm better than everybody out here. Wasn't no question about that.
Then you get to college.
Like these grown men. My job, I'm 17, so I'm young for my age or grade, whatever. I was 17. Everybody else 18, 19. Now you go to college, you talking about jokers who 22, 23.
They
grown men. I'm like 6'5". I'm like, ugh. So I'm a little like,
a little intimidated.
I'm a little intimidated going into camp and stuff, but like, I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I didn't really hype into too much of that, especially when we put all the pads on, you get bigger yourself too. Yep. So, I was able to run with them, but unfortunately, they redshirted me my freshman year. They had some older receivers there,
which is smart.
Well, I'm not, wasn't trying to play, like 2-3 snaps a game. So, I'll wait my year, wait my turn. That's also something that I would say college athletes are not more aware of. More people want to just go straight there, like I want to play now. probably redshirting, probably the best thing I ever did. Like, I put on like 15 pounds of muscle, got a little taller, learned more about the speed of college football and stuff like that.
Playbook?
I've learned the playbook too, developing more. So that next year, my redshirt freshman year, I broke like the freshman receiving record for like yards and stuff.
Now, what I would say also is to give you a chance to enjoy college.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, get your study out. And I remember when you talked, I was like, look, man, time management.
Yep.
All about school. You should party, but then you got to make sure, hey, Monday through Thursday, I'm getting my books.
Right.
Friday, Saturday, I'm gonna party. Sunday, get some rest, back to the books.
Right. And like I said, also freshman year, you know, we had study hall, all that, so they was pretty much
that's good.
On top of making sure they instilled at least, you know, time management in classes and stuff, because it is an adjustment. You know, come from high school, you know, you come home, you know, your mom gonna tell you, hey, you need to do some homework. Like, it's not like that in college.
Right.
It's if you don't want to do no homework,
don't do your homework.
You don't have to do homework. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to pay for it when they kick you out of school because you flunking these classes, or you gotta take the same class over and still pay for it. So, you know.
But Mint was real big on you guys.
Oh yeah.
I remember you just called me and be like, no, man, Mint got us going to these.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Mint, because I just watched the movie Coach Carter the other day, and one thing I will say about any coach, you want to win,
right?
And that's your job. But at the end of the day, I think your job is to mentor young men and women to become productive citizens of society.
Right.
And they're not going to do that if they don't graduate college.
Nope.
I'm not saying they won't, but that college degree is going to actually help.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Mint for keeping those guys in the books and, you know, getting guys to graduate. Because I know at one point when you were going to school, I know you had told me something about like Cameron was graduating more D1 athletes or something like that.
Right.
And that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, finishing like your academic curriculum, not leaving. You know, most schools, you know, most athletes leave before they even graduate college. So, you know.
But it goes to show, though, in my opinion, also that goes to show that, you know, what's more important.
Right.
Is it the young life of this young man that's, you know, got that full ride, or we worried about how many people we can put in the stands?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if he's getting his books, he's going to put people in the stands. Right. But at the time, and I get the pressure on the coaches, too. It's win, win, win. But I also think there needs to be a balance. You know? Right. Same in my career.
Oh, yeah.
Guys are so worried about, you know, you working out, being healthy to go do what you need to do. But guys aren't looking at your whole mental capacity or your whole body capacity. What's it like on the home front? What guys are doing this? Right. And then one thing crumble. It's like it's dominoes, man.
Yeah, domino effect. Exactly.
Guys end up taking on lives and stuff like that. But so, anyways, you get that full ride to Campbell. You get there. You see how big these kids are. Yeah,
like I said, it's adjustment, man. You know, but like I said, I knew what I was capable of. So like I said, my redshirt freshman year broke the little freshman receiving record, and then so now I'm really feeling myself. I was all conference, and then that next year I just felt like I tapped into a whole nother mode. Like I really found myself in like how to run routes and do this and that. But mind you, I was putting the work in. You know, I'm out here training, throwing on the field. My good friend Iman, I still talk to him and throw with him. He's actually playing professional football now, arena football and stuff.
That's awesome.
Still training. So I'm coming in my sophomore year. I'm feeling real good. So I'm killing it that year. I go for 1,000 yards that year. First Campbell 1,000-yard receiver. I think I'm on top. You know, I ain't gonna say I'm still a very humble person, but I like I said, I know what I'm capable of.
But you got to ride that wave too. Right. You only get that once.
Exactly.
You got to ride it.
Exactly. But like I said, I'm still humble. I wasn't, you know, above anybody. I'm still, you know, the last one at practice catching balls. You know, still
driving that
right. You know. So, but did that. So then now I'm like, okay, I might can go to the NFL. Also, Coach Mentor is kind of telling me, he's like, hey man, you got some people looking at you. This. So I'm like, you know, I can really do it now, you know. Yeah. So that kind of encouraged me to go a little harder. And then this is about the year where we go to we switch conferences and we go to like fully scholarship to where they pay you money to get like during the semester too. Right, so now I'm getting a little check and I'm also not having to put money out of my pocket to stay up there during the summer and train. Right. So before that, I was doing that. You know, so like I said, that's the little stuff people don't see. I'm driving back and forth from Sanford, you know, to just to train up there because I couldn't stay, you know, because they wouldn't allow it or you had to pay for it. So now we full scholarship. So now I'm up there living, breathing football. You know, school is still going good. Like I said, I'm a 3.0 student. You know, I'm still putting in the time with that too. My major was exercise science, and I graduated with 3.0 in that. Wanted to be a physical therapist. But then they said you got to go back and get your master's. I'm like, nah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm like, so once I'm done with this school, this is it.
Now, was that your sophomore year? Remember when you went to work with me a couple times?
Yeah. So, it's crazy.
Because I want to compliment you on that, too. Yeah, One thing I'm going to say, even though Aaron got a full ride to Coach Mint, his mom, and everybody watching, you did put in work.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember I told you, I was like, hey, man, mentally, you got it physically, you got the bill. Let's go do some stuff mentally. I remember I took you to work, man.
Yeah, I think his name was Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Washington. Hey, I don't know Marcus. Hey, get in touch with me. Marcus was one of our trainers at Thor, which is where all of our Green Berets train at. And Marcus was good people. And he plays some football too. So.
Yeah, and he had this little drill. I still got a picture of it. It was like an eye drill, and like how you would look and stuff. And so it kind of broadened your vision. Like I said, that stuff was cool. And like you said, even the other part, the Op 4 stuff that you would do.
I would have you come out to Oak Grove and have you do Op 4 stuff.
That was pretty cool. I was telling somebody that the other day, they didn't believe me. I was like, nah, this is real.
It was legit though, man. But that was stuff too, like I told you. That put a little money in your pocket. So I was always, like I tell people, like if I can help you, I help you.
Oh yeah.
But those are things I would tell you to make your reaction time faster.
Right.
You get to see stuff in slow motion now.
Yeah.
And like physically wise, like I told you, you had the ability.
Right.
It was now mentally, how do I make the game slow down?
Right.
How do I tap into it? And all those things help, I hope, anyways.
No, for sure.
Good,
but just going back to the Oak Grove thing, like I said, I was telling somebody the other day, they didn't believe me. I was like, nah, this is real deal. Like, shoot them up, bang, bang. And they didn't believe me. I'm like, so, thank you to everybody who did serve. Shout out to you guys. It's not easy. Like I said, I was just doing it for a couple days, a couple hours at nighttime. But I remember we were shooting sim rounds in the little shoe house, and John was like, "Man, no, you get shot one time, you just lay down, it'd be alright." I'm like, okay, so I got about 4-5 jackets on. Man, these jokers coming through there, they light me up. I'm lay there, I'm like, I ain't never doing this. And I got PTSD from that, man. I'm for real. Look, they sent me an email. It was like, hey, we got another opening. I'm like, I might can do it. And then I thought about it. It was in sim rounds. I'm like, I don't know if I could do them sim rounds. I was like, that's shooting the blanks. When we shot the blanks, sign me up. Right. The sim rounds, no sir. Don't want nothing to do with it. So I see PTSD is real. Like, I understand. Like, yeah.
And that's just sim rounds.
Yeah, that was just sim rounds. But like you said, it paid good money, man. I used to I think I spent like a week out there, got a couple $1,000. Like,
and you
it
can
was
beat
definitely
that.
where.
So hey, shout out to Oak Grove, Mark Gross for giving young kids like this an opportunity. Great company. I still talk to the guys in the company. I don't work for the company.
Okay.
I don't do nothing really.
Right.
But I think Mark, and now I'm just sending a shout out to Mark Gross and Oak Grove Technologies. Just great stuff like that.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
You can bring a kid in. I remember I was trying to get your internship there. Just get kids, and Mark does this every year for kids, just help kids out. So companies out there, if you're not trying to give back to young kids, single parent or not single parent, doesn't matter. But just give back to the communities.
Right.
That's one thing I would say. Companies like that, they give back to communities.
Yeah.
They help kids out. But
I
forgot a lot of Oak Grove things.
Oh yeah, man. I would never.
And every time we had something, I'd be like, "Hey man, let's get Aaron on there."
You were definitely the first one. Yeah,
that's good little money too, man. For you to put in your pocket,
He used to do them little secret training ops. We couldn't even talk about it.
I was like,
NDA. I was like, oh man, it's top of the line.
He's like, "So what are you doing, Johnny?" I'm like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
Like I said, man, you were gone.
All the time,
man. Like I said, I didn't meet you. Like, I've been knowing Jeff, your brother, for like a couple years, 3-4 years before.
Never saw me.
Never saw you. I always heard about you. Jeff got a brother. But never saw you till you, like I said, my junior, senior year when you came back, and I guess, like I said, just kind of retired or what? Like, how did that work? What did you do? Retire or you retired? Okay, gotcha.
It's time to go.
Yeah,
time to walk into my next life. And then
I got you.
I remember actually, me and my dad went down to Florida to watch you play.
Oh yeah, the bowl game.
The bowl game. Yep.
Sure did. So like I said, junior year, I had a good year. I actually ended up tearing my hamstring, so I missed a couple games. But so this is kind of something I regret, but not really. I wish I would have redshirted that year. Got a medical red shirt. But at the time, the team was like 7-0, and like
I remember that.
So I was like, man, I was like, okay, I think we're gonna win this year. So I was like, I'll come back, and I'll never forget. Those of you who tore your hamstring, it's terrible. Like, you can't even sit down. Like, it hurts bad. So
I remember telling you not to rush it.
You're right.
Because I think I just got shot then. So I had an injury myself, and I was like, I'm trying to get back. Right. And I told you, hey man, don't rush it. Just give it time, right? Don't rush it. As I was beat feet trying to get back, I'm like, I'm all right. Yeah.
I'm the same way, man. I'll never forget. Coach Mitt, I remember that. Next week, right after training, I can barely even walk at this time. He come to me, you playing this week? I'm like, man, I can't even walk. Like, what you talking about? I'm playing. So he would do that. So I was out for a total of a month, 4 weeks. And I still wasn't even 100% when I came back. Yeah. But like I said, we were like 7-0 when I was able to run full speed, but I still wasn't myself. But
right. I
would still be a difference maker in the game.
And plus you're thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. It took me a while to run full speed confidently. Like I said, that pain is nothing to play with. And I still I ain't gonna say I feel it this day, but I know what it feels like.
Is it worse than the sim rounds?
Nah, ain't no Russell.
Them Cimarrons ain't that bad, man.
Ain't no Russell. Man, you well, I took my jacket off, had whelps all over me. I was like, I ain't never doing this again. I had to. Thank God they gave us a mask, because good gracious, I couldn't imagine if we didn't have a mask. It wouldn't even recognize me. But so yeah, tore my hamstring, came back. We ended up kind of falling off the back end of the year, so that's why I said I wish I would have redshirted, because then I would have had another year. Senior year, it was a quarterback change and offensive coordinator change, and it just really didn't click. So I didn't put up numbers like I thought, like I was supposed to. But my numbers were still good enough to generate a buzz, whatever. So I actually, my agent hit me up on Twitter. So now, social media is starting to come into the mix. A guy DM me on Twitter. I'm like, who is this? He's like, I want to represent you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, it sounds good, but, what you talk about, what the numbers talk about, like what you want from me, so ended up, he ended up coming to Campbell, and I met with him. Me and Coach met with him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Talked it over, and I pretty much signed with him, because the agents aren't like,
I know.
It ain't too much to deal with until like you really in the fold and mix. Yep. So, I did sign a paper, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he also did pay for my training. So coming out senior year, have pro day, all that good stuff. I'm training up in Durham, and my boy Top Notch in Durham. Shout out to him, named Russ, man, real good guy. Really gonna tap in with you again, my man. Really good gym up there. Training with him, some other guys from UNC.
So where's Russ at?
And Durham.
What's the name of the gym?
The name is Top Notch Performance.
Top Notch Performance. All right, Russ.
Top Notch Performance.
We're sending a shout out.
Shout out
Johnny
to Russ.
Johnny gonna get you on the show.
Shout out to Russ, man.
Yeah.
Real good guy. Very great motivated too. Willing to work hard too. He's not just a regular trainer. He pushes you mentally and physically.
That's good.
So put on a couple more pounds, got a little faster, learned some new drills, all that good stuff to have my pro day. So now the draft coming up. It's like, okay, is this really finna happen? Am I going, get drafted or whatever? I'm hearing different things from my agents, like, yeah, he might go like late round, might go undrafted, whatever. At this point, I really didn't like, it really wasn't like real still, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it wasn't like it was, I'm flying out to meet teams or anything. Right. So it's still in the back of my mind. I still got that little doubt, like, oh, this might not happen.
But you got that college education already,
right? So at this point, yes, I did graduate school. This is all after school. Yeah, this is after school. So draft comes, boom. I don't get no call the first day or whatever. Second day come, nothing. Third day is like the back half of the draft, whatever, free agent deals, whatever. I don't hear nothing. So I'm like, man, like, is this really gonna happen? Like, so then I start trying out for like the CFL, the Canadian Football League, overseas and stuff. Yep. Start doing those little tryouts they got here and there. But those are just a money grab. Like, it's jokers off the couch, like you out there trying to run routes against me, like, so it's just a money grab.
Hold on, man, I can run routes.
No. I'm just saying that. Just put it in perspective. Like, if you had $100, you can come out there and try it out. So I'm like, man, I don't think this.
Because that's wasting your time.
Yeah, this is wasting my time, because they ain't really out here. Right, they ain't really like. I'm just running past. Like I said, dudes is just sitting on the couch. So. Didn't really hear nothing back from that, and so mind you, like, come from a single parent home, like I'm not in school.
I gotta go to work.
My agent, he was putting me up in the hotel, give me a little gas money here and there, but then like I still need money. I'm an adult now. I'm 22, 21 now, just graduated college. I'm asking my mom for gas money to put my little Honda, Shout out to the Honda, because it did stretch in that Honda. That $20 goes a long way. A long way to Honda. But, so at a certain point, I just had to be real with myself. I'm like, all right, man, it's been a significant time after draft, a couple months. Still haven't really heard anything about definite, about playing football professionally. So now it's like, all right, I got to go get me a job. So then I moved to Greenville with my girlfriend, and she got a job as a teacher up there, and I was working installing cable. Just because, like I said, I was trying to get a job in a physical therapist place, but a lot of people wanted you to have your master's. So I was like, I'm not going back to get my master's. So I was just working some odd jobs that I found on Indeed, and then she was like, you need to go to the career fair for the fire department. And I'm like, growing up, the fire department ain't bad. It's a respectable job. So, I was like, it's better than out here installing cable. I tell you that. But shout out to the line makers, all those guys. It's definitely a necessary job, but it's just not for me out there in the elements, crawling under people's houses. That's just not something that I enjoy to do. So I went to the career fair, talked to the guy, Chief Horn. he was like, I think you might like it. You want to do a ride along? I was like, nah, if I get the job, I find out what it's about when I get here. I'm going to find out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there if I like it or not.
Yeah.
So they do that. And actually, shout out to Greenville Fire and Rescue. They actually do EMS and firefighter.
Right.
So I went to the EMT portion first from the community college, got my EMT for about 6 months. We did that in class, Monday through Friday. And then we went to the fire portion. And that was probably about another 6 months. And then I came out with my firefighter 1 and 2 certs and my EMT certification. Yep. And I enjoyed the job. It was a great job. We were 24 hours on, 48 hours off.
Mm-hmm.
But
I got a nephew doing that right now.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's a very respectable job, and I enjoy helping people. Like, that's kind of why I'm still in the field today. I never forget, man, this guy was like kind of like choking, but he wasn't. I think he had like a piece of steak like kind of stuck in his throat, but he was still breathing and talking and stuff. But he had his family. I remember we went to the restaurant and grabbed him. And he was like, man, please don't let nothing happen to me. And I was like, we got you. Like that right there, that for interaction, like that's all I needed. Like I was really helping this guy, and just getting the satisfaction from that. But like I said, so do that. I do that for about 2 years. And then I'm like, I want to do something more. So I'm watching the paramedics on scene as an EMT. I'm like, all right, man, I want to be the one starting the IVs. I want to be the one making the calls, right? Mm-hmm. So then I go back to Edgecombe Community College and I get my paramedic, which is only a year degree or certification. And then I'm a paramedic. And so my only gripe about the fire department was it didn't pay enough.
Right.
Like for what those guys do, what you guys do, like you should be making the same money the nurses and doctors make because you're really out there saving people's lives.
And you're on the scene.
Like a lot of stuff people don't see, even so like I said, I work in a hospital now. Like I see stuff that nurses don't even see because half of that stuff don't even make it to the hospital.
Right. That's what I say. The hospitals, they're controlling.
Right.
Yeah, right. Out on the street.
A lot of stuff don't even make it to the hospital. You leave a lot of people right there laying on the scene. Like that stuff like that people don't see. But the EMTs and the paramedics and the firemen, they're out there dealing with that stuff. So like I said, my only gripe was that we didn't make enough. So
I say this all the time on my show. I'm gonna say it again. All people that are in a public service type of role, they should be paid more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I say this all the time. I look at cops. I look at fire department guys. I look at Peace Corps guys. I look at military guys.
Right.
I look at people that are actually defending our country and taking care of our country.
Right.
Raising our next set of kids to be better leaders like teachers.
Yep.
And they make nothing. But then I look at athletes, and nothing against athletes because you could have been in that boat too.
Right.
I look at athletes making all this money. I'm like, okay, so when do we put a cap on that?
Right.
And start giving that money back to the people that actually
need it.
The difference makers.
Right.
In my opinion. But that's just me.
Yep. So that was one of the main driving forces why I left the fire department. Also, just like the lifestyle of it, man. I was living my life 3 days at a time. I was either at work, just getting off work, or getting ready to go back to work.
Right.
And that was a constant cycle I did for 3 years. Then started gaining weight. My home life, me and my girlfriend kind of clashing because I'm just
let's say right there. You got fat, bro. Cause first time I said, yeah, but what you been doing?
Man, because I'm eating and sleeping. Waking up 3 o'clock in the morning running calls. Just let me go eat something. Go eat some sheets real quick. And so I definitely put some weight on. Started snoring more. It was just so I was like, man, I need to change. So then I kind of while I was in getting my paramedic, the hospital actually came and talked to us. The hospital I work at now, UNC Nash. They came and talked to us. I met the director, and I was like, I might could go to the hospital. It's a controlled environment, like you said, and it's only 12-hour shifts. So I was like, I'm working 24-hour shifts. I know I can work a 12-hour shift, no problem, any day of the week. So I'm only required to work 36 hours a week, so 3 days a week. But I get to pick them too. That's another thing. Like I didn't have no control at the fire department. I was on that scheduled shift for 3 years. I had no and then that's another thing. I had to pick my vacation a year in advance.
And that's hard to do with your family.
Yeah, right. Like who know what we're doing? Man, my family can't decide what we're gonna do tomorrow. So let alone a year from now. So I missed out I feel like I was missing out on a lot of life events too.
I remember that.
So I didn't really like that part. So like the hospital, like if you put the request in, as long as you put the request in before the schedule come out, you pretty much gonna guarantee to get it. So I actually just took 2 weeks off, and I went to Costa Rica back in October for my birthday. Nice. And so that was pretty nice. But yeah, so left the fire department, got to the hospital, and then I'm working alongside these nurses. I'm like, man, I could do what you're doing, or seeing I'm better skilled, because a lot of nurses aren't equipped for like emergency situations.
Right.
You know, versus me, like, if you somebody come in, you know, your arm out of place, I'm like, oh, you know, I've seen that before. You know, versus a nurse, they're like, oh my God.
I've never seen this one.
Oh, right.
It's experience.
Right, it's experience. So like I'm like, but yeah, you make $100 an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I will be going back to nursing school coming up this year, 2024.
That's good.
I just finished taking up like the little entry programs and some of the prereqs, and I'll be applying in the next month.
I'm so proud
and then
of you,
starting the summer, I'll probably be in nursing school, man. So.
Yeah,
and probably go doctor, man, or PA, physician's assistant after that, man. For sure, man. Like I said, I enjoy working in an emergency setting. I enjoy my coworkers. You know, it's a fun environment. It's busy, and like I said, you get to help people, and then like being on the other side of it now, you like you said, paramedics and stuff is like more of stabilization. You don't never get to see like the back end care of like, you know, the person discharged out the hospital. We don't never like after you drop to the hospital, you don't know what happened. You know, so
no follow up,
right? No nothing. You don't really get to see. So it's cool to kind of see the other side now. Also see the doctors perform the different procedures, you know, right there, you know, like cutting somebody's chest open, sticking tubes in, like, there's some real hardcore stuff. I know you can. No, shout out to the medics. I got a friend that's in the Air Force, man. Like, there's some real doctors too stuff. It's some procedures, man, that you can perform. But they're seeing
it right there too. It's
right. I can't imagine.
So you got the. It's more like, how do I make this happen?
Right. Yeah. So shout out to those guys too, man. To be able to do that in the field with, you know, bullets whizzing by you, you know, stuff the tubes down people's throat, patching people. Like, shout out to you guys, because it's like it's a skill in the EDs, let alone like you said in the hostile environment. So you know, shout out to you guys. But yeah, man, the hospital setting, I enjoy it. Like I said, I'm going back to school to be a nurse and eventually a physician assistant.
2024, right?
2024 this year, yes sir.
So I'll bring you back on after that, man.
Oh yeah. The journey, for sure. That'd be cool to document the journey. Yeah. Yep.
Man, for everybody out there, it's just amazing. Like, look at you now, man. I'm like tearing up because it's like just to watch you go from when I first met you, walking around, feet turned sideways. Like, why are you walking like that? To see you now, you know, a young man that's giving back to society, has been through what you've been through, and still pushing forward, and still, you know, trying to be the better you that you can be. That to me is what it's all about.
Oh yeah, man. Yep.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. So one more shout out to Nicholas Clayton. He's my nephew. I was talking about Brad Clayton's son. I call him my nephew. He's my nephew. He's at the Greenville Fire Department now.
Okay, yeah, I saw you on Facebook when they had the little ceremony. I was
at a ceremony. It's pretty cool, man. So one thing I will say, man, it's just like with Aaron. I love the fact that, you know, 10 years, we can go back 5-10 years ago. I look at where you were to where you're at now. It's all about now you pay that forward to somebody else.
Exactly.
You pay it to somebody else, and it make this world a better place.
Yep.
And that's what I love about when I talk to you. I was like, hey, I got to get you on a podcast because it's all helping through sharing.
Right.
How do we help somebody? So hopefully your story today, single moms, single dads, single grandmas, single uncles, single aunts out there, be patient. Don't give up. You know, you keep trying. And then for the kids out there, don't be that spoiled little brat.
Exactly.
Like, why aren't I getting this? Why aren't I getting that? Just, don't be entitled. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to work hard for what I get, and I'm going to try to get to where I need to be. And don't settle.
Right.
And that's one thing I say about you and I say about Nicholas, both of you guys, because I love you guys like sons. What I like about y'all is y'all haven't settled.
Right.
You continually, all right, how do I get better? How do I move forward? How do I advance?
Right.
You know, nurse making $100, I'm making this. I can go do that job. Okay, I'm going to nursing school.
Yeah. It's that simple. It's that simple.
And for everybody out there, when people say, and I'm going to say this just because you on here as a young black male, one thing I hate as a young black male, you a young black male, is when we use our race for an excuse sometimes. And you've heard it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting held on. I can't do this. White man doing that. No, dude. It's what you put in.
Yep.
It's the work you put in. Your input is going to determine your output.
Exactly.
It's going to determine where you go. If you put in this amount of work, you're going to be successful regardless.
Right.
And you can be a trash truck driver. If you put in the work to be the best trash truck driver, you're going to be the best trash truck driver.
Yeah, no question.
Because I put in work, not a lot, but I put in a little bit of work throughout my career. And I look at where my career took me and where it brought me. It's because I put in the work.
Yep.
On the weekends when guys like, man, I'm off, I ain't doing nothing. I was training.
Right.
Whether I was shooting, riding my bike, whether I was swimming, while I was running. Now I look at it now and I'm like, man, I look back at it. You put in the work.
Right.
So what I would tell kids out there, white, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Put in the work.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do. Put in the work, be respectful, because there's people out there along the way like Aaron that will help you. Because he was there. I was there, dude. Right. So when I saw you, young kids struggling, trying to make it, I'm like, look, and I told you, be patient. We'll get your car.
Yeah.
And how long it took us? It took us a minute.
It took us a little while. A couple auctions we went to.
But we got. I'm like, don't buy that. But we got your car. And look, but it's patient, and it paid off. And you had that car for 6 years?
Yeah, about 6 years.
6 years.
Left me on. Like I said, there was nothing wrong when I drove it to the junkyard.
And that just hurt me in my heart. I just threw the car away.
I couldn't I couldn't get it to pass inspection.
I got you.
That's another thing.
You should have called me, man. I know some people that know. We got some South Carolina folks.
Yeah, that's what we needed to do. But yeah, that's the reason why, because the apartment complex was coming by leaving stickers on us. I gotta get rid of it before they. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, I'm proud of you, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm getting all mental, man. Some mental. But for everybody out there, thank you guys for watching. I hope you truly enjoyed this episode with Aaron right here, Mr. Aaron Blockmon. He's doing great things in the world, man. And for all my service member out there, for all the law enforcement out there, it's young men like Aaron is why you guys do what you do. Exactly. I don't do that stuff anymore, but that is why you guys do what you do. For young guys out there that are trying to make a difference in the world, trying to be better, not just be a kid that, hey, I don't care what I do with my life, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
You actually took an opportunity and you ran with it. For coaches out there like Coach Mint, thank you for, offering that scholarship. For Mr. Russ, right?
Russ,
for Mr. Russ, that work with him in the gym, for your agent, for all these people, it goes to show that, people talk about how bad our world is. It is, but it isn't. Right. Because you still got good people out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To do the things. Look at your mom. Your mom's in healthcare.
Yep.
Your mom's working with people every day, making a difference in people's lives.
Exactly.
And as long as we got people like that, our country's gonna always succeed.
Yep.
Because you better bet we got plenty of country rednecks like myself, got more guns than we know to do it.
Right.
So we ain't worry about nobody hurting the country. We need to take it upon ourselves just to be better people.
Exactly.
Because just the other day, Christmas Day, I think it was, I saw somebody stop on the side of the road and give a dog some food, which is great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
But then I drive down Bright Boulevard and I see homeless
out there,
human beings out there, and people are driving right by them. I'm like, hey, if I can stop and help, I'll stop and help, or give them some food or whatever. But those are the things I think, as a country, as a culture, we got to do. So all law enforcement, again, first responders, teachers, all you guys, keep doing what you're doing, because he didn't list all the teachers that had an influence on your life too. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So every little bit that we do to help the next generation is going to be, is how I think we become the country we want to become, or the world we want to become. But other than that, man,
it takes a community.
That's it, right? It takes a village to raise everybody, man. But I appreciate you coming on, man. You didn't hear what? Man, I swear to God, man, you look like you done grew a couple inches, man.
Every time I see you.
Because you do, man. Every time I see you, you look like you done grew, man. That was good.